Hi, Jays. Truth Seeker back with my first weekly analysis. My first time doing this, and I want to share what I am looking at for this coming week. And first off, I want to just go quickly through the currencies. Now, before we look at each currency, let me briefly explain what the COT report is and why I use it in my analysis. The Commitment of Traders report shows how different groups of traders are positioned in the futures market. The two main groups I focus on are commercial traders and large speculators. Commercials are typically institutions and hedgers, and they are often considered the smart money. Large speculators are hedge funds and momentum traders who tend to follow the trends. Now, when we see an imbalance between these groups, especially when open interest is increasing, it can signal that institutions are positioning for a bigger move in the market. So I use COT data as my first step to identify which currencies may be fundamentally strong or weak. And this week, this first one I want to talk about is the euro. Now you can see here with the euro, the commercials here on the left, and you can see while we still are commercials are still more short, we have closed a lot of short positions. Last week closed net position 15,000 and huge decrease this week. So for that reason, I do not have euro in my watch list for the first time this year. Actually, I have been extremely bearish with the euro for the last 2 months, and yeah, she's been good to me. We had a few bumps in the road as well, but yeah, overall, I'm going to miss her, but I'm sure I'll see her again soon. Next we have is New Zealand dollar. Now, New Zealand dollar is also interesting. I haven't had it on my watch list for the last few weeks, but we can see here that commercials are increasing their long positions, and net positions are, yeah, they have been increasing for the past few weeks, and open interest has been increasing. What I like actually as well has retail. They were extremely bullish a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, when retail are extremely bullish when it comes to the New Zealand dollar, you don't want to be trading it. So that was another reason that I took it off my watch list, because I do not want to be trading the same as retail are trading the New Zealand dollar. So I do have it on my list, not my watch list this week. I am monitoring it, and I'm not going to talk about it today because it'll just be too long to go through too many different charts. But I will keep an eye on the New Zealand dollar on Monday and Tuesday to have some high impact news. And yeah, I will look if it is actually doing a lot more stronger against the two weak currencies that I have planned. And we will talk about one of them next, which is the Australian dollar. So the Australian dollar, you can see now, okay, while they close some short positions, but you can see they are still extremely bearish, and you can see this huge increase in open interest, and you can see for net positions for large speculators, they have actually closed. This is actually interesting. They have closed some of their net positions, and retail have picked them up. So yeah, retail are extremely bullish with open interest increasing. Now, I have been bearish bias for Australian dollar all this year as well because of COT data, but technicals never aligned. So I have traded a little bit. I've taken a few trades. I think I shared one in January, but I haven't traded it recently because, yeah, just Australian dollar has been on steroids. So I haven't been interested in it. Just because I have the fundamentals, you have to wait for price to come to you. So I will be talking about the Australian dollar soon again. And Canadian dollar. This is another trade that I am looking at because fundamentals are bearish. You can see this huge increase in shorts for commercials, and you can see large speculators extremely bullish, and retail getting really bullish as well, which is what I really like. Look at this, maximum 8,000. This is in the last year, but like they have been really bullish. And yeah, and open interest, huge increase in open interest. Most of the currencies have a huge increase in open interest. So last week was a flat week. I have a feeling next week we're going to see a lot more moves. So I am bearish bias for Canadian dollar. And next, Swiss franc. Now, Swiss franc, you've seen open interest increasing. Commercials, they have been increasing their long positions since the 3rd of February. So, which is very interesting. So we are at, we're not at maximum for bullish extreme for commercials, but we are heavily bullish, while you can see retail are getting more bearish. And yeah, they've been getting extremely bearish, and while they were bullish all along, and now they are extremely bearish, which is very interesting. And you can see net positions are, yeah, no real change there. You could actually say they have closed a few of them, and yeah, the big thing here for me is retail being extremely bearish. And yeah, for that reason, this is one of the currencies that I am bullish on for this week, and I will be talking about in the charts. British pound. Now, British pound, you can see here, huge increase. Look at this from the 27th of January. Look at this increase from commercials, and yeah, this is huge, especially with open interest. The huge increase, so something is definitely coming. And you can see, okay, large speculators heavily bearish. Retail have been getting more, they were extremely bullish, and yeah, now they are getting bearish. Not close to being bearish extremes for the British pound. But we have a lot of fundamental news for British pound. I'll go through next week, and yeah, I'll go through after. Is it Wednesday or Thursday? And yeah, I know that the forecast is supposed to be really bad, and for this reason, I just absolutely love trading the pound. If the news is supposed to be extremely bad, and you see retail thinking it's bad, and you see commercials this bullish, so yeah, I want to be on the side of the commercials for sure. But that is the British pound, so I'm bullish bias British pound. Japanese yen. Now, Japanese yen is interesting as well. We can see we have from the 10th of February, you can see the price has just been, for commercials, they've been increasing their positions, and yeah, we have for this, we have not been this bullish extreme for a long time, and with open interest keeps increasing. And what was it, at large speculators, yeah, they are heavily bearish, and retail, which is not really significant really for the Japanese yen, they are minus 4,583. But yeah, for retail, I take retail with a pinch of salt when it comes to Japanese yen. But I am bullish, but technicals just don't align, and I am going to show one example of something I am monitoring, but at the moment it's just in my monitoring list, and I will just give one example. Now, last one, US dollar. So yeah, not much of a change, just not much of a slight increase with open interest, and it's, you can see retail are getting more bullish after being bearish, and yeah, large speculators added some longer short contracts, and yeah, commercials, yeah, added a couple of long positions, but nothing really significant. I haven't actually traded a dollar in over a month, and yeah, for me, the dollar, I want to have a clear bias from COT standpoint, and at the moment I just don't have it. But I'm not saying you can't trade it. I mean, just take Andre and Ryu for example. I've seen the back testing they've been doing, and especially with the valuation tool, and yeah, they've just been killing it on the floor. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities there for the dollar. But just for me personally, I'm just sticking to my crosspairs. So that is about the currencies, and now we will start with the Canadian dollar, or sorry, Australian dollar and Swiss franc. Now, you can see here from the monthly. Yep. Okay. Now, let me just get this here. So you can see here, we are at just getting rejected from monthly supply. Now, I'll put this here. So the body has just closed outside monthly supply. Now, if we go to weekly supply, now this is actually very interesting as well. You can see here, I love these supply zones. When you have, okay, weekly, you've been consolidating for like 3-4 weeks, and that big sharp down. These are my favorite kind of supply zones to look for. And yeah, you can see here weekly supply and weekly and monthly and prices inside there, and yeah, we're just still getting rejected. And next I will go to daily, and you can see I'm not looking to trade this yet, because look at that trend. Just look at that trend. You do not want to be trading against that trend. It's just crazy to be thinking about doing that. So I'm not looking at that. But what I am going to do is go down to the 4 hour, and what I have down here is I have a 4 hour demand now. So this demand zone was created on the 17th of February. Now you can see this push up, and you see price getting rejected. Now let me just write here 4 hour demand, and you can see here price got rejected, came back. Now I know what some people are just looking at now, and they're just like, that demand zone was taken out. Now 2 weeks ago, you can see here that there was a gap. We opened up with a huge gap that quickly got filled, and you can see here price went up, and that this demand zone is still intact. It got rejected, price went up, came down. Even a bigger rejection, prices gone up. We made newer highs. So while this demand zone is there, I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in looking for a short position. So what I have here is this zone here. I have my fixed range, and you're going to see this. This is what I do with a lot of my trades, is I have to wait for price to come to me, and you have to demand, and also earlier previous on the open, which is aligned. So you have the two of them right here. So what I want price to do is to come down here. We have to break this. No other way about it. We have to break, retrace, that's the money, and look for a continuation. So that is what I am looking for with Australian dollar and Swiss franc. Now I also am looking at Canadian dollar and Swiss franc, and I will go through this from, we have monthly first. Now it has been extremely bullish this month so far. You can see this. Price has been really gone up a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up a bit more, because we still haven't gotten to monthly supply. So this is what I'm waiting for. Hopefully, I want to see a rejection from monthly supply. That would be ideal if I can see a rejection first. Now you can see here for weekly supply, weekly. Now we actually are still in weekly supply for this, yes. And remember what I said a while ago? So I mightn't actually go up to monthly supply because you can see price was consolidating for a few weeks here before that sharp push to the downside. Now granted, we are still inside weekly supply, but for me, this is still valid. And let's see how price goes. I still would say ideally I would like to see a tap from monthly supply before we start going down, but let us see. And next we will go to daily demand. Now daily demand. This is actually much cleaner than the Australian dollar because the trend is going down. So I would actually be trading with the trend. So I actually prefer this trade over the Australian dollar. The Australian dollar still has a lot of work for it to do. That is the daily, and I have actually my daily demand zone here. This is a strong demand zone because you can see how price was consolidating for a long period, accumulating positions, and before that sharp push to the upside. So yes, I have my daily demand here, and go to 4 hour, and what I want to go and do here, this is my 4 hour demand. You can see here I use a lot of 4 hour demands, especially for cross pairs, because I've just seen how effective they are. And especially you can see this one, we've seen the consolidation, that push up, the rejection, and that second initial push to the upside. So I think you guys know what I want to happen. I want to see price break below this. I want to see price break below, break that demand, and I want to see a retracement back to this fixed value area low. That is what I am looking for, and yeah, I will just mark it out anyway. I want to see price go down here, up here, and down. Take profit at daily demand. That is what I am looking for, Canadian and Swiss franc. Now the next one is British pound and Australian dollar. Now this one is interesting. I've actually been looking at this for the past 2 weeks. The Canadian and Swiss franc is my first week looking at it, but this one I've been looking at it for a couple of weeks, and I've taken 0 trades because price hasn't gone to where I wanted to go. Now there's a few interesting levels here. Now I use demand zones a lot, but I also use support and resistance when I see it's very significant, and here I do. You can see the 3-month candle. Yeah, one of the G's group before, he taught me this, and yeah, it's just been very, very beneficial for me for cross pairs. I can't thank him enough for that. And 3-month, hold on, 3-month support and resistance. Okay, so that's my 3-month, month, MONTH. Yeah, all right, and I change this to blue. Okay, now I don't actually have a template for that. I really should actually. That's the only one I don't. So that's 3-month, and you can see here at the moment price is in an interesting area. We're just getting rejected from it. Next one is go to the monthly. Now monthly is also interesting because you can see this is also monthly support. You can see this has just been a significant price area. I've had multiple touches, so it's something that I'm definitely keeping an eye on, and the start of this week is going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. And if you go to 1 week, now price is still, what's interesting here is we've closed bullish last week, so I thought there could be a big move this week, but obviously it didn't happen. But because I just waited, price didn't come to me. I had no interest in trading it, and yeah, it's just still been acting as support. But when we go to the daily time frame, it still looks like resistance. So this is interesting to me. Now, I want price obviously to close well above this support and resistance before I even think about looking for a trade. And now also you cannot deny, look at this downtrend. I have no interest whatsoever in looking for a long position when price has been going down like this. So I'm going to go to my 4 hour. I think you guys know by now I love to use my 4 hour time frame. And what I am looking for here is, you can see this fixed range right here. Right here, this fixed range. Now, make this a bit longer. Now, what I want price to do is, we have a fixed value area high right here, and we have the previous, because this is the previous week Sunday open. I haven't forgotten about them. And what I want price to do here is, if we see a push up, and this is very, very important for me, price has to break the previous week. You can see the blue line here. This is the previous week, and you can see from Sunday open, price has to break above this first. If it just goes here and it doesn't break above, I don't want to get involved. It has to make new highs. That is vital. So if it makes new highs, wait for a retracement from either the fixed value area high or the previous Sunday open, and yeah, that is what I'm looking for right here, and I will enter there. So let's see how that plays out. It's got a lot of work to do, but this 3-month support and resistance and monthly support has been very interesting. So yeah, it's not another one I'll keep an eye on. And one more trade. I actually don't think I'm going to show the Japanese yen today, guys, because I think this has been a long video as it is. I just want to keep it at the 4. What I'm going to do here, because there's four trades in my watch list, and I think that's enough. I didn't realize that it would actually take this long. I don't want to be boring you guys if you're continue to watch. Now let me go through this again. 3 month, yeah, 3 month wasn't significant. Yeah, all right. So yeah, we have British pound and Canadian dollar, and yeah, this is actually, I saved my best to last because this is actually my favorite trade I am looking at. And you can see here, actually, I will go to, yeah, I'll go to 3 month. Price has actually, this is another 3 month support and resistance area, and yeah, I really have to do a template for this actually. I promise I will for my next one. These 3 month and resistance. Okay, and text here. All right. No, so 3 month support and resistance. Yeah, you know what it is, support and resistance. And I'll go to monthly. Now monthly is also interesting because you can see, look at the price here. You can see here all these touches here. So I have this as a monthly support and resistance. I want you guys to know why. Look at all these touches here. Look how significant price has been here, and you can see price has just closed above here, and it did this in February 2025 as well. So this is an interesting area for me, and I am going to keep an eye on this area. Now, you might be thinking I use supply and demand, and I use support and resistance. I use supply and demand. That's my bread and butter. But for these, you can see these zones. Look here. Does anyone see a clear demand zone or supply zone? Well, supply zone, yes, but like, do you see a clear demand zone here? I think it's an absolute mess. So this is a key area for me to look at. Now, if we go to the weekly time frame, now this is where very, very interesting, because you can see here first we have a weekly demand. Now you can see here I have a weekly demand here, and what I don't like actually yet as well is we haven't touched weekly demand. Price has not tapped into it, but let's see if that's significant or not. We saw in April 2025 there was a heavy rejection, so yes, this weekly demand hasn't been tapped into yet, and yeah, let's see. But what I do find very interesting is you can see how this weekly candle closed indecisive. So maybe sellers are exhausted already, and maybe we will go to the upside. So let us see, geez. You have to be ready for anything. And I like this as well. Price key still getting rejected from this monthly support on the daily time frame, and I'm just going to go down to the 4 hours. As you guys know, I trade, and what I am looking for here is this is an earlier previous on the open. You can already see it has acted as resistance. Now, what I want price to do, and we have this fixed level here as well. We have fixed level right here, and what I want price to do is, and it's pretty similar to my other trade with British pound and Australian dollar, is I want price to come up here and break the previous week's highs first. Very, very important. Now, preferably I would prefer price to come back and to the earlier previous on the open before looking for continuation. Now, price might come back to the fixed value area high, and yeah, in that instance, if price has aggressively gone up first and we see it go down, I would look for a long position. And I know the earlier previous on the open is there, but if it's after being gone through a few times already, and if there is a push to the upside, I would look for a trade. But preferably I would prefer just to trade it above here, and let's see how price goes. Now, those are my 4 trades that I'm looking for next week, geez. I also said about the Japanese yen is bullish, but I'm not looking at it just because the technicals don't align. New Zealand dollar I'm also monitoring, and yeah, if I were you guys, I would monitor and see how it does against the Canadian dollar and Australian dollar at the start of the week. And yeah, if it looks strong, yeah, maybe I'll revisit it, because if my other pairs on the watch list are not working out. So yeah, geez, I hope you like this video, and if you do, please let me know, because I don't know how many people trade cross pairs in the group. So yeah, if there's not many people who are watching this, I don't know if I'll bother to do another one, because yeah, I just want to see how much interest there is in the cross pairs. So yeah, let me know, geez, and good luck trading next week.